The results that we saw with the CeraVe were so dramatic that we would call each other over to have a look at the tester with the most dramatic results because it was so dramatic you almost couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe it, and her family members couldn't believe it.
I'm Christine Cyr-Clisette.
I'm Rosie Guerin, and you're listening to The Wirecutter Show.
Rosie, hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Today we are talking about eye creams.
Oh, boy.
Are you a user of eye creams? Do you use an eye cream?
I do now.
You do now? Okay, tell me
now.
what you're using, and are you liking it?
Well, the honest answer is I'm using something I got for free in a gift bag at an event because I figure with these dark circles, something is better than nothing.
Well, you have 2 little kids. You know, I go back and forth with eye creams. I've tried them and felt like they did nothing for me. So I am curious if there is one that would actually make a difference.
So you don't use one on a regular basis?
I have actually started to use one, and I'm waiting to see if it will work. The magic will work. But that's why I'm excited to talk with our expert today, because she knows a lot about eye creams. Abbie Kozolchyk is a senior staff writer on the beauty team here at Wirecutter, and she wrote our guide to eye creams. And before her time here at Wirecutter, she spent years as a beauty editor and writer at places like Glamour and Allure and Cosmo, all these like big hitters. Yeah. She knows a lot about skincare. We've had her on the show before, and I think she's going to be able to really lay it out for us, like what these things can do, how much you can expect from them, how much you need to spend. She's going to be sort of our guide today.
I love Abbie. She's a pro, and I'm very excited to hear her take. We're going to get to that conversation in just a minute. Before we go, I want to remind folks about this special offer where if you are not already a subscriber to the New York Times, you can now explore the Times for free, no paywalls, during your first month in the New York Times app. So you download the app for the first time, and you can find all your favorite shows and their back catalogs in the New Shows tab. The Interview, Popcast, Modern Love, and more. And of course, you can check out The Wirecutter Show and our back catalog as well. Okay, so after the break, Abbie Kozolchyk, stick around. Welcome back. Today, we've got Abbie Kozolchyk in the studio. Hey, Abbie.
Hey, Rosie.
We're going to talk about eye creams.
Very exciting.
Abbie, I am so happy you're back here with us. I am going to admit something, though. I have long believed that eye cream is just a gimmick. It's just regular cream bottled in a little bottle and that they're charging more for. I know I'm probably wrong here, but I want you to explain why I'm wrong.
Well, I will admit that many people on our beauty team and in the beauty world share your suspicions.
Yeah.
And we went in really, really skeptically to this whole process, and we were happy to be proven wrong. Probably the most important distinction is that the skin around your eyes is so thin and so delicate that you don't necessarily want the same concentration of actives right around your eyes that you would elsewhere on your face.
So actives being things like retinol.
Exactly.
You know, what
acids.
Acids. Okay.
Your lids are such thin stretches of skin that ophthalmologists would really prefer that you place no harsh actives anywhere near your eyelids. So that is one of the big distinguishing characteristics of a lot of the eye creams that we tested, is that you might find the equivalent kind of treatment for face, but with levels of actives that would be just too much for the skin around your eyes. So eye creams are formulated specifically for the skin around your eyes, and many of them are tested specifically for that skin.
So then what are our expectations of eye cream? What do they really do? What can we expect them to do?
Really depends on what you're looking for them to do. It's such a broad category. When we first reached out to staffers about what they had looked for in eye creams in the past, what they might look for in eye creams in the future, people had a pretty broad range of concerns, issues. Wrinkles are a biggie, whether you have only crow's feet or wrinkles all around your eyes, darkness under their eyes, puffiness around their eyes, a general tired look, and then also extreme dryness. A lot of people experience season-long dryness around their eyes in winter, which is when we were doing a lot of our testing, and then into early spring with allergies and rubbing your eyes raw. And so that is actually one of the other distinguishing characteristics of some of the eye creams that we tried, different from face creams. Sometimes people are looking for so much hydration and comfort around their eyes specifically that you almost wouldn't want that heavy a layer on the rest of your face. And if you are somebody with persistently dry skin around your eyes, or even if it's just seasonal, you want something there that is just really thick and cushiony and that you might not find comfortable on the rest of your face.
That's a fairly wide array of cases you might reach for an eye cream to treat. What are the expectations that are actually based in reality? We're not expecting to look, 19.
No, we are not. Although I've had crow's feet since I was a teenager, but I went into this story saying I wouldn't mind softening them a bit, happy to have them, just wouldn't mind if my expression lines were just a bit less expressive. That's all.
Less expressive.
And so I do think that a reasonable expectation is, for example, with expression lines, you might get them to be slightly less expressive. With dark circles, it really, really depends. There's so many different causes for dark circles. If it's a case of your vasculature being so pronounced under the thin skin under your eyes, there's next to nothing that an eye cream can do for you.
And when you say vasculature, are you meaning that, that's why you might have dark circles?
Exactly.
Is it literally like seeing your blood?
You are seeing your blood.
Veins,
You are seeing vessels through that very, very thin skin.
Right.
And so that's one example of you're probably not going to get super great results from an eye cream. If the dark circles are the result of hyperpigmentation, however, then you could get some lightening and brightening from an eye cream. Again, it will likely be subtle, but to some people, the subtle change is enough, and it makes a difference in how they feel. Same thing with puffiness. You are probably not going to get an outright disappearance of puffiness and bags from a simple over-the-counter eye cream, but you can kind of move some of that fluid out of there, and people definitely saw that result and just felt less tired, more energized, even with slight depuffing. And so I think this really is a case of managing expectations. Although, on the other hand, we did get a few really dramatic responses that surprised even us. And so I don't want to discount the possibility that you could see something pretty radical happen. But by and large, I think the most reasonable expectation is subtlety.
You have a handful of picks, but you tested a lot. So tell us about what you did for this guide.
So we started with a list of 56 very well-reviewed, well-respected contenders. And
56, did you say?
56, yeah.
And are these mostly things that people find at a drugstore? Are they also sort of fancier cosmetics that you'd have to go to a cosmetic counter for?
We looked at everything at every price range.
Okay.
And we thought if there was a case to be made for it, let's keep it in the mix. And that is reflected in our final assortment. Yeah, I mean, you have everything from a really, really reasonably priced drugstore eye cream as our top choice. And then you have some really pricey eye creams that are available at specialty stores and in doctors' offices as well. So as we whittled and got down to a list of finalists, we really looked at what was working best behind the scenes, regardless of where that product was available and what it costs.
And how many people ended up testing for this guide?
We wound up with 65 testers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is a lot of testers. And
That's a lot for you to keep track of.
It was. I had so many spreadsheets going. We wanted to do it that way because the world of eye creams is just so vast, and it's almost like testing for subcategories. We broke it out according to people's concerns.
And how old was this group of people? Because I'm sure the 20-year-olds might be using eye cream, but I don't know if that's going to be convincing to the older people.
The 20-year-olds are not convincing in the slightest, except in one way, and that is in the super dry.
Okay.
Let's see, our youngest was 23, and she has very, very dry skin around her eyes. And our oldest was 84, and at the age of 84, he was quite tired of the bags under his eyes. And we had everybody in between, each with individual concerns in the eye area. And we had no fewer than 3 people testing every finalist. We wanted at least a 2/3 majority for any product that became a pick.
And how long were you testing for? Like, how long were these folks trying these eye creams for?
We tested each for a minimum of 30 days. And we had each tester testing only one cream on only one eye because we wanted people to be able to see the difference between their eyes. Now, granted, your eyes are probably naturally a little bit different from each other, regardless of what you're putting on them. But it did help. People could see differences between their eyes as time went on. And that started eliciting really funny responses from unsuspecting family members. Kids who had no idea that their parent or grandparent was testing would say all of a sudden, "Your right eye looks really old." And because the left eye in most cases was the test eye.
That's really funny. So I'm curious from the perspective of testing, but also how this translates to just anyone using an eye cream at home. How do you actually tell if something is effective? How are you doing the before and after comparison?
So we went in with the most meticulous, earnest instructions from our photo department on how to do before and after selfies to make them as useful as possible in this context. We asked people to take photos on day 1 and day 30. That was dreaming on our parts. People are people. They take pictures how they take pictures. We wound up with very few selfies that we could use. But some people really did take us at our word and made sure to take the photos at the exact same time of day. But even in pictures that didn't manage the exact same lighting, the exact same angles, the exact same time of day, you could still see some sort of difference, not for all of the creams, only with the ones that became picks. And in some cases, it was so glaringly obvious we could not believe it. That was actually the case with the CeraVe, our top pick.
And so for people listening at home, or selfishly for myself, if I wanted to see if something was actually working, is this the way to do it? I feel like I use new cosmetics all the time and like the way it smells and I like the way it feels. And then after a while, I might be like, yeah, I think it's working, but I actually have no evidence. So is doing a before and after like that, like every 30 days, a good way to figure that out?
It certainly can hurt. I mean, you have to sort of allow for all of the variables that go into selfies. So it's not the most scientific method. And in fact, we are retesting all of our picks in the coming months in a clinical setting at a dermatologist's office where the machinery can repeat lighting exactly, can repeat angles exactly, photographs everything the exact same way every time so that what you're getting is a much more objective look at any difference or lack thereof. But at home, selfies or pictures that people take of you are a good way to get some sense of whether something is working at all. And 30 days, I would say, is the minimum amount of time that you would want to give anything with an active ingredient to work. Bare minimum.
So to Christine's point, if you're not seeing results, let's say at the 30-day mark, do you give it a little bit longer?
I would, because 30 is really the bare minimum. 6 weeks is a reasonable amount of time for anything with an active ingredient. Some dermatologists would say 8 weeks, depending on the active. But if you have the patience to give something 6 to 8 weeks, at that point, if you see no difference, move on.
Okay, I'm curious. We're going to talk about the eye creams that you tested and recommend a little bit later in the episode. But for those of us who are just standing in an aisle looking at a wall of options, is there anything you should look for in the ingredient list? Are there specific actives you should be looking for, or anything that would indicate quality when it comes to eye cream?
You probably want to focus on the issue that bugs you most and start there. If, for example, it is wrinkles, as it is for many, many people, a well-reviewed retinol-containing product is a good place to start. Peptides, too, can help.
What do peptides do?
They can also help soften lines, among other things. There are many, many dual-purpose ingredients in a lot of these, or ingredients that serve more than two functions.
What about dark circles?
So niacinamide is one of the ingredients. Again, it's sort of a multifaceted ingredient, but it does have a reputation as a brightener and a lightener.
Is that a formulation of a vitamin?
Vitamin B derivative.
B, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And anything else you should be looking for besides those three, the retinols, peptides, and the niacinamide?
Yeah, like how about for puffiness?
So caffeine may have an initial depuffing effect around your eyes. And a lot of the depuffing formulations contain caffeine. But the other thing that a lot of depuffers have, in addition to caffeine, is a really cooling tip, whether it's ceramic or metal. Whatever ingredients may or may not be doing the depuffing in the formulation itself, the cooling tip helps.
The cooling tip meaning the little wand you use to apply the cream.
Yeah, it's attached right to the end of the product. And then if you're somebody who's looking for a lot of moisture, extra moisture around your eyes, our pick has just a number of humectants towards the top of the ingredient list. So those are ingredients that draw moisture into your skin.
To recap before we go to break, eye creams are real.
They are.
And in order to get a sense of whether the one that you're trying is working, you want to give it at least 30 days.
At least 30 days.
And I think almost the most important thing you've mentioned about eye cream so far is that you really want to pick what you're trying to address.
Exactly.
You want to narrow that down. And because it's overwhelming to stand in the drugstore and look at the 100 different options, a quick shorthand that could be helpful, retinol might address wrinkles.
Yes.
That might be helpful for wrinkles. Peptides too. You might want to reach for something with niacinamide if you are specifically concerned about dark circles. And for moisturizing, you might want to find something with a humectant.
Glycerin is a really classic choice there.
Okay, and then for puffiness, you mentioned caffeine is often an ingredient you'll see in eye creams that address puffiness specifically.
Okay, well, that's great. We're going to take a quick break, and when we're back, we're going to talk about some of the actual picks in this guide.
All right.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. Abbie, I want to circle back to something we touched on in the first part of this episode. Anyone who listens to the show, Rosie also knows this. I hate overspending on anything. I'm like all about finding the best value. So
Discerning.
Yeah, I'm discerning. And I really, really don't want to pay more just for packaging or for a scent or whatever. I'm like very bare bones when it comes to cosmetics too. So I'm curious. We've got a $13 pick from CeraVe.
We do.
And then we have something like upwards of $130.
Yeah.
What makes something worth paying 10 times more for?
Efficacy. Although I don't want to confuse the issue because the $13 cream was not a wrinkle cream. I mean, it's one of these all-around eye creams.
Okay.
And it does claim to soften lines. But it's not the kind of thing you would turn to if you were really intent on...
Like if you have deep crow's feet. That's
Exactly.
maybe not the one to go for. Go for the cream that actually focuses on that particular issue.
And so I want to make sure we don't sort of conflate categories here. It's funny because one of the complaints that we had, a minor complaint, a flaw, but not deal breaker, if you will, is that it has such sort of meh packaging and the experience is a bit meh too. They still like the efficacy, but they didn't find that it was part of a great self-care ritual or that more expensive ones do. So I'm talking about the CeraVe one right now.
The CeraVe was giving CeraVe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And
it gave a $13
experience. But not
great
efficacy. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So the results that we saw with the CeraVe were so dramatic that we would call each other over to have a look at the tester with the most dramatic results because it was so dramatic you almost couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe it, and her family members couldn't believe it. She's the one who was told by a child in her family that her right eye suddenly looked old. It was really, really dramatic. And so there are many, many people who are happy to forego a beautiful, luxurious self-care experience in the name of drastic results. Now, not everybody had drastic results. Some people had subtle, lovely results. And again, these results are really specific to our testers. So we can't say that everybody would have drastic or any results. But a majority of people who tried this product did see good results. And that was from a tube that costs less than $20. At the same time, even though we tried a number of wrinkle-fighting products from across the price spectrum, we tried drugstore all the way up to the kinds of products you get only at dermatologist's offices or in specialty stores. And we gave them all the same opportunity, 30 days on one eye. And the one that did best among testers was the one that became our pick from Skin Better Science.
And that's the $130.
Yes.
Yes.
Abbie, is there a specific way you're meant to apply eye cream? Because before the break, you talked about the cooling tip of one of the picks that specifically could be helpful for puffiness. So I'm kind of wondering if there's a universal way you should be applying. Like, I see a lot of the light tapping with the ring finger.
The ring fingers, yes.
Yeah, the ring.
It's a really boring answer, but it's just according to the package's instructions because
read the package.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I know that's the most boring answer ever.
Let's say you threw away the packaging and you don't have the instructions.
You're flying by the seat of your pants.
Is there like a general rule of thumb of like kind of how you're supposed to apply it? Is it just the padding?
Sort of, a light tapping.
Okay.
But you do want to make sure that you're helping enough of it. I mean, tapping alone doesn't necessarily get the product to absorb. But yes, in general, use a light touch around your eyes. And if you are using something with a strong active, ophthalmologists at least would ask that you keep it away from your lid.
Okay.
If possible.
I really feel like the double ring fingers when I'm tapping.
I feel like
that's something's magic is happening.
I feel like that's the way, right?
There's something happening.
Okay, we got to get into these picks. We got to talk about what you would recommend. I think that people listening to this, I think even the people in this room may have different things that they're trying to treat. We are going to run through a few scenarios of the types of problems that people might be trying to solve with an eye cream and have you answer which of the recommendations you would recommend for these scenarios. Cool?
Sure.
All right, great.
The first one is someone who's never tried an eye cream, but maybe is hesitant to spend $130. That's a lot. What should they try?
I say go for our best all-around pick, the drugstore pick at less than $20.
Drum roll, please.
The CeraVe Skin Renewing Eye Cream.
That's the one in the purple bottle.
That is the one in the purple bottle.
Yeah.
There are a couple of eye creams from CeraVe that we tested. Interestingly, one did not do nearly as well among our panelists. But the one in the purple tube is the one that did best for our panelists, the Skin Renewing Eye Cream.
How about folks with very dry skin, seasonal or just in general?
So I would say the Belief Moisturizing Eye Balm. That was our pick. And
Balm, B-O-M-B?
B-O-M-B, yes. It really did great. And people absolutely loved the level of just cushiony, lush moisture that they got from this cream.
Okay, dark circles.
So that is a tricky one because there are so many reasons for dark circles, as we were talking about, and only some of those reasons are addressable with a topical cream. But for those that are, our pick was the Elastin Restorative Eye Complex. That one produced some really notable results among our testers. Basically, everybody who tried this one saw something from subtle to fairly dramatic.
How about someone who is dealing with puffy under eyes?
For puffy eyes, Cocokind Revitalizing Eye Cream was the pick. It's one of those that comes with a cooling metal applicator. It did so well for our testers that one of them, who's an 84-year-old gentleman who's been puffy for the last long while, has just stocked up on this stuff now and is using it daily as a result of his experience with it. It sort of defied everybody's expectations because this is one of those products that you imagine might work well in the short term, and that is plenty for a lot of people who especially who wake up with puffy eyes. Often people are just looking for something to help get the puff out in the morning. But he found that there was sort of a cumulative response with this cream and not just sort of the temporary depuffing. It was subtle, but it was enough that he has gotten himself at least a months-long supply at this point and intends to keep using it.
This next one's for me. Someone who has used eye cream in the past but didn't see any results and thinks it's fake.
So, I mean, that was a lot of us. So I would say, first of all, make sure that what you're using has an active ingredient and make sure that you're giving it enough time. The compliance aspect and the patience aspect, it's a bummer, but it's a necessary evil in the case of eye creams. And then, yeah, look for at least one active in the formula so that the product at least has a shot at working for you.
How about the crow's feet that we have discussed throughout the episode? What product are you recommending? What's the pick?
So that pick is the Skin Better Science Eye Max Alpha Ret Overnight Cream. I know it's a mouthful.
What's the active in that one?
So it's a much less harsh retinoid than the prescription retinoids I had tried personally. And it comes in a really creamy, soothing base, which also helps offset some of the flakiness and redness and irritation that you might be accustomed to if you've tried retinoids in the past. This particular vitamin A derivative converts in your body to a retinol, but also into an alpha hydroxy acid. And so you get a little extra sloughing in the process. And I and most people in my testing cohort found that it actually did something that we could truly see.
We're going to let you go, but not before we ask our signature last question, which is, Abbie, what is the last thing that you bought that you really love?
So I love it so much. I have it with me.
Because do share.
It's, I've been carrying it around. It's like a little moisture security blanket. It is the Peak Sense Organic Rose Phyto Facial Oil.
Ooh.
Yes, in case I haven't already made this abundantly clear, my skin is so painfully dry a lot of the time. And am I allowed to mention two products because I like it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In tandem with the night cream from the exact same line, the Organic Rose Phyto line from Peak Sense. They make the most beautiful organic skincare. And I normally hate rose-scented anything.
Oh, I love rose-scented everything.
You
That's
do?
Like
Then
scent.
here,
That's my jam.
you have
Yeah,
to-
can I smell it?
Please do. So I use that kind of off-label.
Oh, that's really pretty. That's like real rose smell. You know how you get that
Exactly.
synthetic weird rose smell that's not nice?
I can't stand that. Yeah.
That one's really nice.
There's just such a surge of moisture and glow, and then that heavenly scent. It feels like a proper ritual. But I also, during the day, I'll just put a little bit, if my hands are looking particularly
Dry.
parched, I might squeeze a little drop of this here or there. That's why it's in my bag today.
Lovely.
Abbie, thank you so much for joining us. This was really fun.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Abbie. Rosie, we are now so knowledgeable about eye creams.
Abbie's so great.
She is. What are you taking away from this episode?
This idea that you can find an eye cream that matches the problem you're having.
Yeah.
So if you have crow's feet that you're trying to smooth out, you might need something different than if you have dark circles or a lot of puffiness.
Yeah.
So that I found interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I had never thought of eye creams as being so complex in that way. I now think I understand why I didn't like eye creams that I've used in the past. I think they didn't have enough active ingredients. And so even before we started this episode, I'd already been sort of playing around using the CeraVe that we recommend in the guide. It's the one that comes in the purple tube. I'm going to keep trying that out, see how I feel about it after 30 days. And if I'm not seeing an amazing difference, then I will maybe try something different. And also, I want to try that rose oil that she brought in. It smelled amazing. So
yeah,
I'm going to try that.
I think the purple CeraVe is also a good one to reach for because it's low stakes. It's not the most
it's like
expensive.
$13. Yeah, you're not losing much there.
That's it for us. If you want to find out more about Abbie's reporting on eye creams or any of the other topics she's written about, you can find that on our website. And of course, we provide the link in our show notes. Christine, I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you next time. Bye. The Wirecutter Show is executive produced by Rosie Guerin and produced by Abigail Keel. Engineering support from Maddie Mazziello and Nick Pittman. Today's episode was mixed by Katherine Anderson. Original music by Dan Powell, Marian Lozano, Rowan Nemisto, Katherine Anderson, and Diane Wong. Cliff Levy is Wirecutter's deputy publisher and general manager. Ben Fruman is Wirecutter's editor-in-chief. I'm Christine Cyr-Clisette.
And I'm Rosie Guerin.
Thanks for listening. Yeah, it smells gorgeous.
Really
like you're
nice.
Smelling a bush. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's like
you're wrong, but
it's like you're
There's the top teas.